What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Adobe Live. I see so many familiar faces in the chat, including my new friend Minty. Welcome in, Minty. I just met Minty today. Minty is brand new to Behance, so they say. So definitely give Minty a warm welcome. Thank you for being here, folks. I see Sarah and Kevin and RB and Sam. It is good to have you all here. My name is VooDoo Val, and I am going to be your host slash co-artist for this awesome segment that we like to call the Adobe Live Design Off. And I'm joined by my new buddy, Ciele. How are you?
Hey, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. I'm super pumped to kind of jump into what we have planned for today and dive back into kind of a recap of what we did yesterday and all that good stuff. So I'm going to kind of pop us over here to our dual stream area where everyone can see what we worked on. And I'm going to give you guys a little bit of information about what we worked on, what the whole show is, basically how you can get involved, and then we'll do some other brief intros and all that good stuff. So if you haven't been here before, the design off essentially is every week a guest and I jump into the stream together and create some awesome content based on a theme that we choose together. And so our theme for this week is designing visuals for a fictional event. So all of you folks are invited to kind of collaborate with us. You guys can make up your own fictional events. You guys can design something, honestly, even for maybe the events that we have made up, if you vibe with that. And you can share your designs with us either on Instagram or on Twitter using this lovely hashtag, Adobe Live Design Off. Towards the end of today's stream, I'm going to pull up social media and I'm going to check up on all the cool stuff you guys have posted. There's no need to finish everything 100% perfect. You don't need to make like a beautiful golden masterpiece. It's just kind of a cool way to give you guys a shout out. Thank you all for joining us and participating and give you a little spotlight on the stream. And so, yeah, we're going to jump into what we're doing. But first, why don't you kind of introduce yourself, my new friend, and let everybody know a little bit about you, the kind of work that you do, and then a little recap of what you worked on yesterday.
All right. So my name is Ciele Beau, and I'm from Vancouver, Canada. I talked a little bit about this yesterday, but for anybody joining us today, I am an illustrator, a graphic designer. I'm a painter as well. I do murals. Recently worked on a big mural for a festival in Vancouver last week. And
Ooh.
I also have a painting practice based around my experience having synesthesia, and I'm a musician, which I don't think I mentioned yesterday. Um, and I work on the TV show Riverdale.
Woo!
Yeah.
That's so cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, what was the name of your fictional event, and what do you got going for us today?
So the name of my event is All Day Breakfast, and it is a drag show featuring a Vancouver-based drag artist named Continental Breakfast. So I really loved their work, and I wanted to feature them in this design somehow. So it's inspired by them.
Awesome. And
Yeah.
I am doing a kind of promo art piece for a fictional LARPing event. For those of you who are unfamiliar with LARPing, LARP stands for live action role playing. So it's basically a lot of geeks and nerds that love fantasy, sci fi kind of stuff, and dragons, obviously. And we get together and we dress up in fantasy armor and swing around fantasy swords and pretend we live in the sword and shield era with magic and whatnot. So I have taken to this several times. It's something I love doing, and I actually got the title of my event from Twitter. I'm actually going to pull up the awesome soul who suggested the name because I want to make sure I do a proper shout out to them and say thank you for kind of helping me come up with this. I did a post and I said, hey, name this event. If you do, I'm going to use it on the stream. So this came from BFA Creative, aka Blood Fury Art. And they said Larpe Diem instead of Carpe Diem, and I just thought that was like the right amount of like punny cheesiness for me. I adore it, so that's what I'm using. That's what we're going on with. Kevin is like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. He says, I don't even know what Ciele's doing, but I'm already down. I agree. I agree. Yes, Sam, it did come from the Twitter post, indeed. Um, yes, that's the pun, Cornell, indeed. Cornell's like, shouldn't that be Carpe Diem? Yes, yes. The Adobe streams are never short on puns. Yes, we are the Punishers. This is true. So thank you all for joining us. We're gonna just kind of jump in here, and I think I'm gonna start with adding. I've got like a little little house crest kind of thing sketched in here that I'd like to add, and I'm gonna add like the crest, and then I'm gonna add like a little parchment kind of floating across that's gonna say the date and time, I think. So I'm just gonna dive into it. And those of you at home, please feel free to start something today. If you weren't here yesterday and you're like, what the heck is going on? You are invited. You are included in this. We would love to have you.
Yep.
And then also make sure you post some sketches, or even if it's a sketch, post some finished work, post whatever you guys have, according with our theme. If you worked with us. I also want to point out something I said yesterday, because I didn't say it yet today, and that is this is not only something that you can do if you are an illustrator. Ciele and I are illustrating things, but if you are more of a hand letterer, or more of a maybe a UI UX designer, or maybe you do graphic art, or whatever it is that you find that you love to create, you can do that kind of work for this. It is open to all different disciplines, people from all walks of life. We are eager to see what you make and what you come up with.
Totally.
Alrighty. So, how have you been since yesterday, Ciele?
Good. Pretty good. Yeah.
I
Um, yeah, I've been pretty good. We're in the process of moving. We're moving in about a month, and so there's just like a lot of kind of house related things, moving related things that are um, outside of like work hours, tends to take up like a lot of our brain power right now.
Oh, I know that feeling.
Yeah.
I think the craziest thing about moving while you're still like trying to be a full-time creative is after you move a lot of stuff around, you really don't really want to use your hands and like sit down for several hours and like make something. And so I found every time I've had to move while I was working on a project, I've always found myself like, which is why it is such a blessing to have an iPad, so I can like sit outside or sit on my couch and chill out and watch some Netflix or something while I work. If I didn't have that, I don't know what I'd do.
Yeah, iPads are actually so handy. They're also handy when you have to like travel and do work at the same time.
Oh yeah, oh definitely. I have finished many a project on the train, actually, and that's been such a cool thing because I actually a lot of people don't know this, but I actually get really really motion sick,
Oh, me
and
too.
yeah, like I get like vertigo really really bad. I get so motion sick when I travel, and before the pandemic, I was traveling to San Francisco often, and I found that I don't really get motion sick on trains. I think maybe it's probably because there's not a lot of twists and turns, and it's kind of a wider open space, so I don't really feel like I'm claustrophobic and stuff. And I have sat on a train for like 3 hours at a time and like designed in comfort, which has been like such a cool thing for me because I usually like if I'm riding in a car or something, I have to like close my eyes so I don't see anything out the windows. I have to just like rest. But that's been so cool. It's kind of like you never really know what's gonna truly bring you joy in the world until little things like that happen, where I'm just like, I can't believe how thankful and how stoked I am just to be able to like draw on my iPad and ride a train. How blessed I am, you know.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's like one of my favorite ways to design on my iPad. It's just kind of cruising through the countryside, you know.
totally. That sounds really magical, actually.
It's very magical. It's
Yeah.
it's it's super magical. um, but speaking of iPad and stuff, I've also found that designing on the iPad has been really cool for me, just because of how easy it is, like to go back and forth between programs. So I can design on my iPad, and then I can save it like to my cloud docs, for example. And then I can just go onto my desktop and flip over to whatever my, what's saved in my cloud documents, and work over there. And I found it's actually turned into like 50% of my workflow. And I'm wondering, are you predominantly working in Photoshop, or do you have any other like components to your workflow, especially since you do so many different kinds of work. Like you're doing some traditional like mural work and everything like that. Do you only use Photoshop for it, or you go back and forth between things?
I kind of go back and forth between things. Like I'll use either I'll like pencil sketch something and then try to like make a better iteration of it in like Photoshop, and then I'll move it into Illustrator, or I'll just sketch something and go straight into Illustrator to try to like uh, do something in there. I
Nice.
find Photoshop a little bit easier to do like more like drawerly type
Mm-hmm.
things. I guess it sort of depends on what you're going for. Because then I also have like if it's I recently did a project that was these like sidewalk decals, and
Ooh.
uh, they had to be like in my style, so like illustrative and colorful and bright. But they also had to be able to be vector and like scaled up and all that kind of stuff. So obviously, the the thing to do was to just put it in Illustrator and then clean it up and figure it out in there,
Yeah.
rather than Photoshop. So I guess it sort of depends on the project. Yeah.
So, talking about going from like traditional medium to digital to clean up designs, I don't know if I've asked you already, do you use Adobe Capture by chance?
I don't.
It's
I
really
don't.
cool. You can basically like, it's kind of like a dream come true for me personally, because
I like dreams
I've
that come true.
yeah, like have you ever, if you're doing like traditional stuff as like part of your workflow, then you ever like draw something traditionally and you're like, gosh, I wish I could just pick up these lines and then just put them into Photoshop, or just put them into Illustrator so I don't have all the extra stuff. You basically could do that with Capture. Like you take a photo of it and it makes a perfect vector line art of what you drew, and then you can sharpen it or smooth it out so everything is really smooth, and then save it to your library, and then you can open it in Illustrator and you have a perfect transparent like vector line art of what you drew, exactly how you drew it. Your face, you're like,
Yeah,
what?
it's like blowing my mind. I was like, how did I not know this existed before?
It's
That's awesome.
insane. You can even take pictures of fonts and it'll tell you what font you took a picture of. You can take a picture and you can make a 3D texture for like Substance Painter in there. You can take an image and like kaleidoscope it to make patterns and save it to your patterns in Photoshop, and it's pretty. It's basically like magic. It's like hashtag Adobe Cadabra. Like.
Yeah, yeah, nice. That's awesome. I did not know that that was a thing. I love that, and we'll have to look into that because I think about that fairly often.
Yeah, that was
Where
like
I'm like,
kind of for me the big thing, because and I think that was kind of how the artist that I saw use it like posed um, the question. It was like, as a designer, don't you just want to like not have to retrace your traditional drawings and not have to, recreate stuff and spend all that extra time? Don't you wish you could just put it in the program and it'd already be done. And I'm sitting on the edge of my seat, like on the other side of the country, watching my YouTube, like, yes, yes, I do. Are you about to tell me how to do this? And they were like, yeah, you just take a picture of it with this nifty program. And I was like, no way. This
That's
is
wild.
amazing.
This is the future.
Yes, definitely super future.
That's
So
awesome.
I hope you have fun with it. I hope you try it out and you're like, whoa,
Yeah,
this is what I was needing.
that's really rad. Yeah, I'm very happy to know about that. I do actually think about that fairly often, so I'm happy to know.
Awesome.
Yeah. I,
Chad says you can also, yes, Chad's right. You can also access it in the libraries panel, which is super cool too. So you can pretty much open like after you use Capture, you can open it all like in within Photoshop and everything instead of just like saving stuff to libraries. It's pretty rad,
wow,
pretty
okay.
awesome.
I have to look into that and like figure it all figure
Also,
that
welcome
out.
in, Steve. Welcome in. I would also like to know how to pronounce Mr. Chavez's name. It's spelled Jech. And I don't think I've ever seen that kind of name before. And I would also love to know how that sounds, so I don't ruin it the first time I try and say it. That is a very unique name that I've never seen before.
Is that a name in the chat?
Yeah, Julia's asking him how to pronounce his name at the moment, and I'm also very very interested, because that is a super cool name, and I would love to be able to greet him or her, or anything on the spectrum, anyone, um, by their proper name.
Totally. That's nice that I like that you take the time to acknowledge people and then also figure out how to say their name. As someone with like a difficult to pronounce name for some people, I very much appreciate that.
Oh well, you're very welcome. I've known a lot of different people because Adobe's community is so totally international. We have so many people in the chat from so many different places. We get a lot of very unique names I've never come across. So I
Mm.
always love to learn about new names, and to be able to just like say hello to people and not just pick out the names I can say off the bat.
Yeah.
Um, Speaking of which, where are everybody in the chat from? Like, where are you guys at? I would love to know what countries everyone is hailing from, just so we can have like kind of an example of like how awesome and diverse this community is, because it blows me away all the time.
Mm.
Kevin's like, wait, how do you pronounce Ciel?
CL.
Ta-da!
I think because my name is French and it means sky, except it has an extra e at the end, and so I think even though it's a silent e, that like confuses people sometimes. It's kind of like to me, it's like Anne with an e.
Oh,
It's
gotcha.
like Anne. You're just like Anne.
And you're like,
um,
how does
but
this
I get like
go?
Seely a lot, or I've even gotten Kyle. People sometimes just call me Seal. And I'm like, I mean, I'm not the singer,
Yeah,
but
but thank you.
I'm honored. Thank you.
That's so funny. I've actually learned that just from interacting with so many people from so many different places, most folks outside of like the U.S. and the U.K. If they haven't looked at my profile or they haven't seen me on the stream before, and they're just reading my username, they usually assume that I am a man because Val in some other countries is a man's name.
Really
Yeah, so
interesting.
I've had a lot of people from Greece usually assume that I am a man because they're like, "Oh, Val, what's going on, dude? What's going? This guy is cool. Like, welcome in, thanks." And I'm like, "Well."
Actually, sorry to burst your bubble.
So that's been like kind of an interesting thing to learn about the world as well, is that the
Yeah.
things that I assume you know, about stuff. It's not always true wherever you go. So it's always great just to check in and ask people and see how other people actually say their names or how they actually identify and all those things.
Totally.
All right, I've got my shield done, and I am going to unhide my title and my sword if I
I
can.
had the screen open on my laptop so that I could actually see you today, which was very nice to see your face. But because
Awesome.
there's like a slight timing difference, I was like getting really confused, so I had to turn it off for myself.
Oh yeah, there will be like a slight stream delay, totally.
Yeah.
That's
It's like,
yeah, I
wait,
should have said
her
something about
mouth
that.
isn't lining up with what she's saying in real
I swear everything's working.
life.
Can y'all try to, this is from Kevin, can y'all try to pronounce my Korean name Hansu? I'm just curious what it sounds like to other people. Well, I just said it. I hope that that's right. Um, I don't know if there's another way to you. I mean, you spelled it kind of phonetically, but that's so I assume that it's Hansu. But let me know if I'm right or wrong. That's super cool. I don't have another name. My mother named me VooDoo, so this is all I got. This is the only one.
I love that.
Kevin says, "Oh my gosh, Val, yes." Okay, cool, perfect. Win for me today.
That was actually so fun.
Super cool. Reminds me of Kill Bill and the Hattori Hanzo sword. Oh, thanks. That's so cool. Let's see if we got any people throwing out where they're from. We got some folks from Miami Beach. RB's taking a page out of my book. RB says Tatooine. I love it. I'm also from Tatooine.
Yeah.
Steve as well from the Death Star. That's what I like to hear. Monsieur says from Bangladesh. Awesome. We got Chicago. We got Florida. Steve says no, but really Mount Doom. And I was like, okay. He says it's here in New Zealand. Is it actually like the place is like concepted from a place in New Zealand for real? Because that's all. Oh yeah, because the Lord of the Rings was filmed in New Zealand. Man, I love it when we have like fantasy nerds in the chat. You guys just make my day. I love this. Um, let's see. Anybody else? San Antonio, Texas. Hot, hot, hot. Awesome. Another person from Miami. Very cool. Very cool,
Right.
dudes. Love it.
Are there any Canadians in the chat?
Yeah, are there? Is there anyone from Canada?
It's okay, I can be the only one, but
Okay.
and the chat goes silent.
And then everyone's like, no, I'm sure there's some Canadians. I know for a fact that there were some folks from Canada in the chat earlier today. I don't know if they're still here, but there definitely were.
Nice.
100% is a real mountain. Well, I know where I want to go once quarantine is over. That's where I'm going. Mount Doom. I realize that that's a weird thing to say. I can't wait to get out and go straight to Mount Doom. But I'm honest. That's what I want. Okay. I'm making myself like a little ribbon here, a little stylized parchment, and I think it's gonna be cool. I'm like drawing it separate from everything else, and I've kind of got like a weird vibe for this illustration that I never really do, because I'm usually like painting or doing like graphic art, but I'm doing like line art and very simple cell shading today. So I'm like sketching out the shape of all of the shapes and then doing like line art on top of it all, which is new to me, but really satisfying so far.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you try something new and then it goes well.
And you're like, oh, all right, I got this.
Dun, dun. I'm attempting to make a spoon
Ooh.
uh, underwater, but I haven't really tried this before, so I'm just figuring it out.
Well,
It'll
going with the
work.
spirit of things today then.
Mm-hmm. Doing what calls us.
All right. I think that's like one of the hardest things that I've ever had to learn, but also one of the most rewarding. Because I think when you first start out, it's like really really scary just to kind of like jump into something you don't usually do, like making a spoon or drawing a scroll or whatever, you know. Um, and I didn't used to do that at all. Anytime I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to learn to draw something I don't usually draw, I'm just kind of like, maybe not. Maybe I'll just draw this hand in a pocket instead of drawing the hand because I'm not,
Right.
like that's like the
Totally.
the best example I could give, because I feel like a lot of us have been there,
Yeah.
and I didn't, but the worst that can happen when you don't know what to do is that you find out what you already know, and that is that you don't know what you're doing. Um, and then the only way like place to go from there is up, you know.
Yeah.
So it's good to just jump into it and see what you come up with, even if it's a disaster. I think a common misconception, and I've said this so many times, but a common misconception about professional artists is that everything we do is perfect the first time we try it.
It's not.
Most of my stuff is garbage the first time I try it, especially if I've never done it before. I never am just like, okay, this is 100% perfect. Like, I'm happy with what I'm doing right now and I'm not used to it, but you can see I'm cleaning this up a little bit. I have to go back in, I have to make some more sketches and iterations, but I've kind of figured it out. This would be a good example, but sometimes I'm like, wow, I forgot how to draw the entire time I just drew whatever this is.
Right.
And then you gotta try again.
Totally. I mean, that's kind of like the beauty of digital artwork, at least, is that you totally have that space to just like figure it out.
Yeah,
You don't have to be like too worried about it overall,
yeah.
which is nice.
I had a friend online for a while. Speaking of that, who, because a lot of people will say that, and they're like, the beauty of digital art is, you don't have to be so totally precious with things. You can afford to make mistakes that might even be like pretty like seriously expensive, in the traditional art world, because you have to buy the supplies and everything to make all the stuff you're doing and yada yada, and so she was like, I'm gonna reverse it. I'm gonna use traditional the way you use Photoshop. So she did like this video, and it was like 9 years ago, and I can't for the life of me find that video again. But she had like this huge canvas, and she had all of these little canvas cutouts just in case she needed to, like, she called it dragging the lasso tool over and cutting stuff out, and she just like paste down a new piece of canvas and paint over it, and she was adding gold leaf, and she was like, well, we're gonna add some noise over here, and then she put in like some texture, and I was like, you go girl, you are killing it right
Actually,
now.
really awesome. I love that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It's a really smart idea.
She was definitely taking it in a new direction for sure.
Yeah,
All
that's
right,
awesome.
there's my scroll. I like it. I'm happy. I'm gonna add some more color, or not color, just more grayscale, more value, I should say. Um, but I'm feeling good.
Nice.
And a little bit of
Yesterday went
this.
by so fast that I did like a little pre-work, so that when we're like at the end, there's like some text and stuff that will come on. Because I was like, so yesterday was my first time streaming, and I was actually so shocked at how fast it went. I was like, wait, we just started.
It's so
It's so
funny though that it's your first time streaming, because I felt like it was such a fun stream and so great. I really didn't think you were nervous at all. I think we all had a good time, right, chat? We all had a great time hanging out, chilling. Um, and
Me too.
I think it's pretty much like the way of the future now, right? Because so many of us are separate but close. That seems to be the
Mhm.
theme of life these days. And
Right.
so I'm glad that we got to stream together. And I hope maybe you decide sometime in the future that you'll do some more of your own, because I would definitely catch those streams.
Hey, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it was very fun. It is very fun speaking in the present tense as we are here. It was only fun yesterday. I'm just kidding.
Not
I'm so
today.
happy to be
Sorry.
here. Yeah. Today's great.
Psych. Alright, I'm gonna put. Am I gonna? No, I'm not gonna put a drop shadow on this. I have to watch it with the drop shadows, um, mostly because Howard Pinsky will yell at me if I keep adding them, but partially because I know I overdo it sometimes. But Howard, I think so. Howard Pinsky is the evangelist for Adobe XD, and he
Okay.
has a lot of very strong opinions about rather you should or should not use drop shadows in your designs. I think drop shadows are awesome, and I use them like all the time. And every time I do, I like to make sure that he knows I'm using them. So I'm like, ah, yeah, look at this sick design I came up with yesterday. No one's ever seen anything like this before. I call it the drop shadow. I think
Just the
is
drop
like
shadow. Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever heard about this, but it's like seriously taking over the way that we design as people. And if you don't jump on this bandwagon, Howard, it's gonna be sad for you, man.
Yeah. Gonna be missing out.
Let's see. I'm looking through the chat. Uh, People are naming the the bubble volcano from Finding Nemo. I love it.
Oh, as a place that they are from?
No, they're the like it's like literally the bubble volcano from inside the fish tank.
Yes.
And I mean, if you want to go there, that's cool. I would want to go there too. It's just like not a lot of space for hanging out, I wouldn't think.
But why are they naming it?
They're just talking about cool places, and that came
Oh,
up.
I
Yeah.
see. Yeah, that is, yeah. I want to do an impression of that little fish guy, but I feel like that would
The
be,
My Bubbles guy.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
like a
My
dick.
Bubbles. When that movie came out, I was like so blown away. And then I love how they came out with the other one like 10 years later, like no time has passed. You haven't been waiting for this your entire young adulthood. And I was in the theater ready to watch that movie with all the little kids like it was my day too.
Yeah, 100%. I feel that. I actually like the year that Finding Nemo came out, I think I was turning 14,
Yeah,
and
about.
uh, I would have been in grade like 8, I guess. And um, uh, my friends and I had this whole thing. I'm sure this is just like kind of a grade 8 thing to do, but where everyone had like a thing that was theirs. And so, like, my one friend, like, Harry Potter was like her thing, which, like, Harry Potter can't be just one person's thing, but
No,
like,
no.
we let her decorate a room and that could be her thing, like, whatever. But Harry Potter was her thing. And then my other friend was like obsessed with Hilary Duff, so that was like her thing. And then I decided that my thing was going to be Finding Nemo. So on my 14th birthday, they just went to like Walmart or places like that and just got me like every child's Nemo paraphernalia they could find. And that was my
Yes.
birthday gifts. And honestly, it was like the best birthday ever.
Amazing.
Yeah. I was like, I know I should be too old for this, but honestly, it's just fun to like something and just let it be the thing that you like.
And you know what? The cool thing about becoming an adult is after a while, it doesn't matter if people think it's weird that you like a certain thing like that. You can just be like, as a grown up, I can go get Star Wars action figures if I want to. Because that's what I
Totally.
do. That's what
Yeah. But I spend my hard-earned cash on. It makes me happy.
on Kylo Ren only. Take that. That's like the story of my life. Howard got me second guessing my heavy shadows on everything. I know. You know what? It's good though because he says it and he jokes, and I know that he's low key serious. Like He's not actually messing around. I think he really is just like, don't put drop shadows. Don't do that. But now, even though I love drop shadows and I'm really heavy handed with the drop shadows, every time I go to apply one, I think about, does my design really need this? And sometimes the answer is no. So I gotta thank Howard. I gotta give him props because he makes me contemplate my own design choices. Um,
Right.
and sometimes though, like I really don't need them, but I put them on and tag them anyways because I just got
Totally.
to.
And sometimes it's good when people question our choices.
Yes,
You know,
sometimes it is.
can make us better.
And he's a very positive, awesome dude. So his constructive criticism is true constructive criticism that feels good. You know,
Hmm.
he's very good about that.
That's awesome.
Like they forgot the Incredibles. Clever Devlin. Yes, yes, they forgot Finding Nemo for a very long time. Like they forgot the Incredibles. We missed them. We missed them a lot. Okay, I am going to add. Ooh, he might also hate this, so everyone tag him. I'm also putting a stroke around my text, and now I'm going to add a clipping mask, and I'm going to start painting on it. So here goes nothing, folks. Here goes nothing. We're going to see if this works out. I just want everything to look like relatively chiseled, but it doesn't have to be like crazy. I'm just gonna kind of like start smoothing this stuff out. Boom. Can I?
Having one of those moments where um, I'm like hyper uh, obsessing about like the placement of Fruit Loops, and as you do,
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
I've been there. Been there.
then I'm like, wait, how much time do I actually have? Otherwise, people are just gonna watch me obsess over Fruit Loops, and then we're like, okay, Ciele, we get it. You didn't want the purple one over there.
No, I think we're doing good. I would say, well, maybe time is. I keep forgetting that people are not used to how time passes on this. So we have about 10 minutes left before we look at submissions. For me, that's a pretty good amount of time because I was expecting to look down at the clock and be like, oh, we're done. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you being here. Goodbye. Um, but yeah, we do have a little bit of time left. So if you want to noodle around with Fruit Loops, do so to your heart's content.
Thank you.
I've never given permission to anyone for that like specific thing,
Thing.
and I appreciate you for the new experience. This has been cool, and I think normally like maybe if I had a little more time I wouldn't be um, doing the text exactly like this. But I'm really like not. I don't hate this. Like like I've tried something new again now, and I don't hate it, and that's a good feeling. Sometimes that's like all you're really looking for. And
Right.
so I would find like a different font, and I'd be like, all right, I need something that's gonna like chisel a little sharper and stuff when I add like bevel and emboss. I don't know if it's bevel and emboss or bevel and emboss,
Um,
or
I say emboss.
do you say emboss? Okay.
Yeah, because I
Uh,
think with the effect that it's mimicking is like when paper gets embossed.
yeah,
I
that's
get
what
the
I
word is
thought.
emboss. Yeah, I think. I mean, but yeah.
I think there's like a few different things in Photoshop that I'm honestly not sure if I say right, and so I say them differently every time I say them. And
Throw
another one
that
is
in there.
saying like opacity versus opacity. I
Oh,
think if you like review all of the daily creative challenges I have ever instructed, I probably say it differently at least 2 times every stream. I don't know how to say it.
interesting. I say opacity.
Opacity, okay.
Yeah,
Cindy
doesn't
Ross has a
right.
question for you, I think. Sorry to
Oh,
interject. Uh,
Sweet.
she says, I love that you obsess over Fruit Loops. Helps me understand my OCD in design. That's awesome. And so we are relating to each other, so we know that you're not the only one that does this stuff. That's good. And then she says, what keystroke are you doing? So I think, are you duplicating? Is that what she's referring to, or maybe you were talking to me, Cindy. Let me know if you were asking for like a keystroke from Ciele or from me, because I can let you know what that is, or she can. Alright, what are we doing on time? I think we're good. We still got like 7 minutes, I would say, before we need to flip on over to social media. Again, for those of you who are participating and hanging out with us, please submit your work on Instagram and Twitter using the Adobe Live hashtag. If you have created anything alongside us, we want to see so bad what you folks have designed with us for our theme of designing. Excuse me. I just like, you ever just choke on your words and with no warning? And for whatever reason, the universe is like, do this when she's live, when she's addressing an audience. For those of you who are wondering what our theme was, it's designing a fictional event. So Ciele and I have both created a fictional event that totally isn't real, but we wish it was. And we're making some cool visuals for said events. And you can either design for your own, or if you really like the kind of stuff that we came up with, feel free to design for ours too, if you want to get in on that.
Really. Can I do like a quick little shout out here?
Yeah, please do. Please do.
Just so that I can show, because I realized yesterday, I don't know if you could actually see, oh, this is, never mind. This is so small that it's almost,
Oh, I can see it well though. I can see it. There we go.
The
Yeah.
resolution is like a little low, but this is the photo that I'm referencing. And it is of this individual's name is Continental Breakfast. Their Instagram handle is Conti Breakfast.
Nice.
And then the photographer, his name is Sean Allister, and they also do like photography of other drag queens and like really cool. They're both really incredible artists.
Nice, nice. Awesome. So definitely check out Continental Breakfast, folks.
Mm.
Also, I feel like at some point, I can't remember who it was in chat. If it was you, please give us a shout out real quick. But I feel like something we should also return to at some point, if ever you and I find that we have like some spare time, is we should do like a mock-up fictional design for Dragon Dragons.
Oh, yes.
Because that was so funny. Somebody said yesterday, because she's doing a fictional drag event and I'm doing a fictional LARPing event, which obviously would contain dragons, that Dragon Dragons sounded cool. And I was like, that's an event all on its own. That's its own day right there. That's its own thing. So I feel like that should happen at some point because I would be stoked.
Totally. I would be down. That would be really fun just to do for kicks.
Yeah, just like, surprise, here's something brand new.
We made a thing.
Unfortunately, it's not real, but boy, if it was, I would be frolicking through the forest with a sword and the grandest wig the world has ever seen. That's exactly how it would be.
I would just really want, I think like a dream would actually be to have someone do like drag makeup on me.
Yes.
Oh, that would be so fun. And then like do some kind of photo shoot just for the sake of it.
That'd be amazing.
Why not?
I'm literally so impressed and blown away by drag makeup. Like it's some of the most like incredible stuff I've ever seen.
Totally. Yeah. It's from what I like, it's hard too. Like in order to get like the right illusions and like all that kind of stuff, it's like you have to have some serious skill.
They are not playing around.
Mm-mm.
I'm just like, I wish I could have like drag levels of skill when it comes to painting my own face, but I just don't. Maybe one day.
Yeah. I don't know if you can't really see it, but I wore like blue makeup
I
today. So I
did
was
notice that. I did notice that.
I to do something a little more interesting because I'm you know, taking on the drag stuff. So I
Yeah.
tried, but it's very tame for compared to dragging.
No, it looks fabulous.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got my LARP Diem thing all set up now, and now what I'm gonna do is, I think I'm going to throw a texture on it and then add my date. And then I think it'll be time for us to switch over to social media so we can check out what the community sent to us. So let me do this. I'm gonna just go ahead and write. I'm using my birthday for the for the date of this.
When's your birthday?
September 13th. So it's coming up here pretty soon. Yeah.
The birthday of one of my like friends from childhood, her daughter's birthday.
Really?
Yeah, it's a good day.
That's awesome.
Great day to be born.
Great birthday. September 13th, 2020. Boom. I think I'm gonna shrink this down, maybe just bump it a little bit. And then texture time, and then we will flip over and check out. Again, if anybody wants to post something for us to take a look at, now is like the last minute moment to do that, because as soon as I throw this paper texture on here, that will be it for the designing segment of the show, and we'll pop over there. So let me grab this texture. Boom. There it is. I'm going to drag it up on top of everything. Bring it out here. Ta-da! And I'm going to make this look like it's on parchment. Ooh, that's kind of cool, actually. But I think I'm going to leave it on more of a color burn. There we go. And I think I'll probably spice it up just a little bit more after the stream, because there's some other things I think I could add to it, just to make it a little more something something, you know.
Really?
But that's what I got. I'm gonna pop over to my screen real quick. Let me bump over here. Actually, we'll take a quick close-up look at yours, because when I popped over here, I've actually got your full screen, so we can see all those delicious Fruit Loops.
Ooh.
Looking good.
Yeah.
Looking good.
I still have to add like a text like featuring continental breakfast and the date and all that kind of stuff, but I'll probably finesse that a little bit too before calling it final. But it's getting there.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, I am pulling up the hashtag Adobe Live Design Off on Twitter, and let me also pull it up on Instagram, and then we will be ready to go. How much time do we have left? We're doing pretty good. Doing pretty grand. And we do have a few things to look at. I'm so excited. Alright, so let me pop over here. This is kind of a regular to our design offs. We have got Cozy Cute Shop, who has done a lot of designs for us. It says design off with VooDoo Val Ciele Beau, number 2 of 2. And it looks like they're starting to design their own sword and shield here, and I'm seeing a little bit of the bevel and emboss kind of stuff, like what I was using today. I'm loving it, and also like some pretty cool patterns and 3D texture kind of looking texture going on the shield. So I love it. I'm glad that you decided to participate. We've got, I mean, if I scroll through here, I'm pretty sure we've gotten a few from you. This is also from Cozy Cute Shop with the Positive Vibes poster done, and a lot of them down the line. So thank you very much. And then we also have kind of a recap of work from the previous guest who actually posted her poster from last week. So this is we did positive creative affirmations last week. So we have this really cool Protect Each Other poster from Miss Cat Willett. So thank you very much, Kat, for posting that so we can see the finished project. And I'm just going to wait until, because I know people may be posting. Another thing, like advice to you, CL, is sometimes after the fact we'll get people like finishing projects and posting them during the week. So you can also like check the hashtag and look, because sometimes we'll get like one or two on the stream, and then when I go back and look, I have like a handful of them to retweet and give people shout outs for.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm gonna refresh one time just to make sure I'm not leaving anybody behind. You guys can give Kat a follow. I believe her handle is just Cat X Willett on Instagram, and then Cozy Cute Shop is at Cozy Cute Shop on the the Twitter machine, the bird one. So thank you guys very much for posting your stuff and letting us check it out. Where is the, like, just for you, CL, where is the best place that everyone can find you to stay updated on everything that you're doing after the stream and stuff? Because I know that folks are going to want to get a hold of you and see all of your other work and everything. So where is the best place for that?
Best place for that is Instagram. I'm there the most. If it's just at CL Beau. I do have Twitter. I'm not on it very much, so I may get back to you in like 2 months. If you say hi there. I am on Facebook as well. Also, it's just CL Beau for like my art page. And I also have a website, www.clbeau.com. And if you're interested in the synesthesia stuff, you can go to www.soundtocolor with a U, because I'm Canadian.com.
Really? Oh my
Um,
gosh, hold on. Let me see if I can pull that
but
up.
yeah, but Instagram, hang out with me there. I'd love to. There were some people yesterday who followed and said hi, so that was really awesome. Hello to you if you're here today.
Amazing. I'm actually going to pull up your Instagram here so people can just take a peek, just to give you kind of the full scope of all of the color and beauty here. So and this is one of the first things that I noticed about you, and I'm glad that we have some time at the end here to kind of show this off, is when I first saw your Instagram, I was like, man, there is some color here. Like this is like just so like colorful and bright, but also so wholesome and so awesome. So I can personally attest, folks. This is just an awesome feel good place to be on the net. If you come over and give CL a follow on Instagram, drop her a line, check out all the cool stuff that she's working on. You will not be disappointed. I see the framed drag uh, portraits here as well, which I feel is super fitting. Yes, you got a couple of them back there. Um,
Yeah,
and
I
we've
have an
got them going on here. Oh, you have an online shop?
yeah, I
Yes!
have an Etsy shop, and there's like pins and prints and stuff like that. So
Amazing.
too.
Then
I'm every
check out the Etsy, folks. Check out the Etsy, y'all. That is all the time that we have today, though. CL, thank you so much for joining me. It was an absolute
Thank you
pleasure.
so much for having me. This is actually just such a blast. I'm so grateful to be here.
Well, it's been wonderful. Thank you everyone in chat for hanging out. You were all fabulous, and we will see you next time. Adios, folks.